Mexican street food is not just something you grab quickly. It is steam, smoke, salsa, lime, grilled corn, sizzling meat, fresh tortillas, and someone on the street casually making one of the best meals of your life. That is the magic of Mexican street food. It can be simple, but never boring. It can be cheap, but still full of history. And every bite feels like it has a story behind it. Some of these foods have roots in ancient corn traditions. Some grew from markets, family kitchens, festivals, and late-night street stands. Some became famous in one region, then traveled across Mexico and around the world. Today, we are counting down 10 must-try Mexican street foods, from sweet churros and crunchy tostadas, all the way to tacos al pastor and birria tacos. Let's start with the sweet one. Number 10. Churros. Churros are crispy, golden, sugary, and honestly kind of dangerous. Because you say, "I'll just eat one," and then somehow the whole plate is gone. A churro is made from dough that is piped into hot oil, fried until crisp, and usually rolled in sugar or cinnamon sugar. You might eat it plain, dip it in chocolate, or find it filled with cajeta, vanilla cream, or other sweet fillings. Now, churros have a complicated food history. They are strongly connected to Spain and Portugal, and fried dough exists in many cultures. But in Mexico, churros became their own street food experience. You can find them at markets, fairs, plazas, street carts, and churrerias. The best part is the texture. Crispy outside, soft inside, warm sugar everywhere. A churro does not need to be fancy. It just needs to be hot. Because a fresh churro can make you happy in about 5 seconds. And honestly, it usually does. Number 9. Tostadas. A tostada is proof that a tortilla can have a second life. The name comes from the idea of something toasted. In food, a tostada is usually a tortilla that has been toasted or fried until crisp. Then the toppings arrive. Beans, shredded meat, chicken, seafood, lettuce, crema, salsa, cheese, avocado. Sometimes it looks like the tostada is saying, "Yes, I can hold all of this." Tostadas are often linked to practical Mexican home cooking and market food. If a tortilla becomes a little dry, you do not have to waste it. You can toast it, fry it, and turn it into something crunchy and delicious. That is smart cooking. And on the street, tostadas are great because they are fast, colorful, and full of texture. But there is one small problem. They are almost impossible to eat politely. The first bite is confidence. The second bite is strategy. The third bite is survival. Crunchy tortilla, creamy beans, fresh toppings, spicy salsa. It is messy, but in the best possible way. A tostada does not whisper. It crunches. Number 8. Gorditas. First, the name. Gordita means little fat one, which sounds funny, but it makes sense. A gordita is usually a thick corn masa cake, cooked on a griddle or fried, then split open and stuffed. It is like a small pocket of comfort. Gorditas are closely connected to everyday Mexican cooking and street stands. You can find different styles in different regions, but the basic idea is beautifully simple. Corn masa, heat, filling, salsa. And the fillings can go in so many directions. Shredded meat, beans, cheese, chicharron, potatoes, nopals, salsa, lettuce, crema. Every vendor can make it a little different. That is why gorditas are fun. They are not thin and delicate. They are sturdy. They are built for appetite. A taco says, "Here is a quick bite." A gordita says, "Sit down. We have business." The outside is warm and slightly crisp. The inside is soft, rich, and filling. And once the salsa hits the meat or beans, everything comes together. It is street food that feels like home food. And that is a powerful combination. Number 7. Esquites. Esquites are what happens when Mexican street corn decides to become a cup. Instead of eating corn on the cob, the kernels are served in a cup, usually with mayo or crema, lime, chili powder, cheese, and sometimes butter or broth. It is warm, creamy, spicy, tangy, salty, and sweet all at once. Really, it should not be this exciting for a cup of corn, but it is. Esquites are deeply connected to Mexican street food culture. And because corn has been central to Mexican cooking for thousands of years, snacks like esquites feel simple, but they also carry a very old food story. You often see esquites sold from street carts, especially in the evening. The vendor scoops the corn into a cup, adds the creamy toppings, squeezes lime, shakes on chile, and suddenly you have one of the best walking snacks ever. And because it comes in a cup, it feels casual. No plate, no fork drama, just a spoon, a cup, and a lot of flavor. Esquites are small, but they are loud. Number 6. Quesadillas. A quesadilla sounds simple. Tortilla, cheese, heat. But in Mexico, this topic can become surprisingly serious. In many places, a quesadilla is a folded tortilla filled with cheese and sometimes other ingredients. But in Mexico City, people famously debate whether a quesadilla must always have cheese. Yes, really. A quesadilla without cheese. Food arguments have started over less. Some quesadillas are filled with mushrooms, squash blossoms, potatoes, chicharrón, huitlacoche, chicken, or other fillings. Some have cheese. Some do not, and people have opinions. Quesadillas grew from Mexico's tortilla traditions, and they became a perfect street food because they are easy to cook on a comal, easy to fold, and easy to customize. That is the genius. A quesadilla can be a quick snack, a full meal, or something you eat late at night when your brain says, "I need melted cheese immediately." The outside gets warm and toasted. The inside gets soft, savory, and sometimes stretchy. And if it has cheese, you get that beautiful melted pull. Honestly, few things are more convincing than a fresh quesadilla coming off the griddle. It does not need a big speech. It just needs salsa. Number 5. Tamales. Tamales are one of the oldest foods on this list. They have roots in ancient Mesoamerican food traditions, long before modern Mexico existed. The basic idea is brilliant. You make masa from corn. Add a filling. Wrap it in a corn husk or banana leaf. Then steam it until everything becomes soft, warm, and full of flavor. That is not just food. That is food technology. A tamal is portable, wrapped, filling, and easy to carry. That made it useful for travel, work, ceremonies, and everyday meals. And today, tamales are still everywhere in Mexican food culture. You can find them from morning street vendors, at markets, during holidays, at family gatherings, and in big steaming pots that smell amazing before you even see the food. The wrapping is part of the drama. You open the corn husk, steam escapes, and inside is soft masa with a rich filling. It feels like opening a food present. Tamales can be savory or sweet. Red chili pork, green salsa chicken, mole, beans, cheese, rajas, sweet corn. There are so many versions, and every family probably thinks their version is the right one, which honestly is how you know the food matters. Number 4. Elote. Elote is Mexican street corn, and it is one of those foods that makes people stop walking. It is usually corn on the cob, grilled or boiled, then covered with mayo or crema, cheese, lime, chili powder, and sometimes butter. It is sweet, smoky, creamy, messy, and absolutely not shy. Like esquites, elote is built on Mexico's long relationship with corn. Corn is one of the foundations of Mexican cooking, and elote turns it into a street snack that feels festive. You see it at plazas, fairs, parks, markets, festivals, and street corners. The vendor takes a simple ear of corn and turns it into something dramatic. First, the creamy layer, then cheese, then chile, then lime. And suddenly, corn is not a side dish anymore. Corn is the star. Elote is also fun because it is hard to eat neatly. You take one bite, and now there is chili on your face. That is not failure. That is participation. Elote is street food with personality. Big flavor, big texture, big mess. Exactly how we like it. Number 3. Tlayudas. If you have never seen a tlayuda before, your first reaction might be, wait, is that a giant tostada? And honestly, kind of, but also not exactly. Tlayudas are strongly connected to Oaxaca, and they are one of the most famous Oaxacan street foods. They are usually made with a large, thin corn tortilla that becomes crispy or semi-crispy. Then it is topped with refried beans, asiento, Oaxaca cheese, cabbage or lettuce, salsa, avocado, and sometimes meat. The meat might be tasajo, chorizo, cetina, or another regional favorite. The result is big, bold, and very satisfying. Tlayudas are often cooked on a comal or over charcoal, which gives the tortilla that toasted, smoky flavor. And the size matters. This is not a tiny snack. This is street food with confidence. Crunchy, chewy, smoky, creamy, fresh, and rich all at once. Oaxaca is famous for its food culture, and the tlayuda is a great example of why. It uses simple ingredients, but the combination is powerful. Beans, tortilla, cheese, salsa, avocado, meat. Nothing feels random. Everything has a job. And when it comes together, you get one of Mexico's most unforgettable street foods. A tlayuda does not just feed you, it makes an entrance. Number 2. Tacos al pastor. Now we are entering legend territory. Tacos al pastor are one of Mexico's most famous street foods, especially in Mexico City. They are made with marinated pork cooked on a vertical spit called a trompo. The meat is sliced thin, placed into small tortillas, and usually topped with pineapple, onion, cilantro, salsa, and lime. That little piece of pineapple? Important. Do not underestimate it. The story of al pastor is especially interesting. It is often linked to Lebanese immigrants who came to Mexico and brought shawarma-style vertical spit cooking. Over time, Mexican cooks adapted the technique with pork, chilies, spices, corn tortillas, and local flavors. So tacos al pastor are not just delicious. They are a food fusion story. Middle Eastern technique, Mexican ingredients, street food genius. At a taqueria, watching the cook shave meat from the trompo is part of the experience. The knife moves fast. The pork falls into the tortilla. The pineapple lands on top, and suddenly you understand why people love this food so much. Tacos al pastor are smoky, juicy, spicy, sweet, fresh, and fast. They are small enough to eat several, which is dangerous, because several can become 8 very quickly. Number 1. Birria Tacos. Birria tacos are the kind of food that makes people say, wait, what is that? I need it. Traditional birria has strong roots in Jalisco, where it is often made as a slow-cooked meat stew. Historically, goat was common, though beef is very popular today. The meat is cooked with dried chilies, spices, and thyme. And thyme is important here. Birria is not rushed food. It is deep, rich, tender, and full of flavor. But birria tacos, especially the crispy red-dipped version with consommé, became a modern street food superstar. The tortillas are often dipped in the rich red broth or fat, filled with shredded birria meat, sometimes cheese, then griddled until the outside gets crisp. Then you dip the taco into consommé. And that is where the magic happens. Crispy tortilla, tender meat, melty cheese, red chili broth, lime, onion, cilantro. Really, that is not just a taco. That is an event. Birria tacos became especially famous online because they look incredible. The red tortilla, the cheese pull, the dipping broth. It is basically made for the camera. But the reason they stay popular is not just the look. They taste amazing. That is why birria tacos take the #1 spot. They combine tradition, street food energy, comfort, drama, and pure wow factor in one bite. So that is our countdown of 10 must-try Mexican street foods. What I love about Mexican street food is that it is not just one style. It can be sweet. It can be smoky. It can be spicy. It can be ancient. It can be modern. It can come from family kitchens, busy markets, street carts, regional traditions, and late-night taquerias. Now I want to know, which Mexican street food is your number one? Are you Team Birria Tacos or Team Churros? Tell us in the comments and subscribe to Top Food Explained for more fun food rankings, global flavors, and tasty stories.